Good evening. My name is Thurman Greco, and we're coming to you from Woodstock, New York, and the name of the show is Let's Live. And we have a wonderful guest this evening who is going to talk to us about several different things, so we're very excited. I'm going to start off by asking Tony to introduce yourself.
Well, hi, I'm Tony Parker. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Tony Parker and I have a thread in common. He currently volunteers, and I have volunteered at a wonderful place called Healthcare as a Human Right. And I didn't realize it was the beginning of Healthcare as a Human Right, but I think it was
Several years ago.
It was about 2005,
right.
2000 something.
Yeah, it's about 10 years ago.
It was a long time ago. Maybe
long time.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Yes, and the way it started was people who did healing in whatever capacity would just show up at family.
Right, exactly.
And
yeah.
we'd all just kind of show up, and then people would wander in and receive healing. And at the time that I was there, I did Reiki and reflexology, and then we had a woman that was doing homeopathic remedies.
Right, that's Lainey.
Yes.
Lainey Richter, right.
And I think she's still there. And then we had a couple of acupuncture people.
Okay.
And a chiropractor. We had a massage therapist.
Angel Orloff?
Angel came later.
Okay.
Angel wasn't even in school at that time.
Is it Julie?
Julie was there,
Julie
but
Evans,
then
right.
there was these different people would just kind of show up, and sometimes there would be some, and sometimes there would be another. And now it is the most wonderful thing. Where are all the places that healthcare is a human right?
Well, I think we have, we have Woodstock, that's once every couple of months, and then there's Phoenicia, and of course we got very active during the floods, Irene and et cetera. Because when Margaretville and Phoenicia got washed out, we started having an outreach clinic in Phoenicia, and then it became a regular clinic. So Phoenicia, and now a monthly clinic in Kingston.
That's at the Dormstead?
No, the clinic, the Kingston clinic is at the Kirkland, the old Kirkland building.
Wow.
On 2 Main Street. It got rehabbed by Rupco.
Wow.
And Rupco very kindly let us use the downstairs. And so usually it's the second Thursday of every month from 4 to 7. We're in Kingston. And I guess November it'll be the 11th. I guess that's when the second Thursday falls. So we'll be there on November 11th in Kingston. Woodstock, and we're going to have to appeal for this, should be November 1st. And Phoenicia will be December 3rd. Well,
now, let me ask you something. When we first started with Healthcare as a Human Right, it was really ad hoc. Mm-hmm. It was very, it was like show up here, and this motley crew would show up, and it was like, oh, she was here, she wasn't, whatever, and we just kind of gather around.
Right.
And now I understand it's very organized.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're applying for 501(c)(3) status. Of course, we've been operating under the umbrella family of Woodstock. They've been wonderful.
Uh-huh.
They provided us with a lot of support, and also their kind of organizational umbrella. But now we have each of the clinics now has a director. Okay, let's see. Phoenicia would be Beverly Dezan. Okay, and our Woodstock director is Haida Mohammed. Okay, and the Kingston clinic is in flux right now. But we did have a wonderful woman from Poughkeepsie. Tama Bell. Mm-hmm. Now, our overall executive director at the moment, of course, is Susan Weeks.
Well, she's been there for years.
Absolutely,
since
absolutely.
the beginning. So.
But there's also a board of directors, and I think Angel Orloff is one of the directors. There are a couple of other. I think Julie Evans is still a director. There's a rotating crew with volunteer organizations. There's always a bit of a coming and going of the various people. I've only been with it for about 4 years. Mm-hmm. I got involved pretty much during the I guess it was Hurricane Irene.
That's fabulous.
I got because when Margaretville and Phoenicia got washed out, we had these emergency clinics. That's when we got called the hippie MASH unit. by the Kingston Times, the Kingston newspaper. We were called the hippie mash unit, so it's been a wonderful experience for me, as a practitioner and also just as a person volunteering and trying to make a difference in the community. But we also accept volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers. You don't have to be a practitioner to volunteer for healthcare as a human right, because we need people to help. It is an official process now. I mean, we keep patient files, so we have to follow guidelines. We do a kind of triage. We do a lot of consulting. So each patient gets a file.
Yeah.
So we do need administrative volunteers. And also, we have a number of RNs and, registered nurses and physicians assistants. It's not just all, holistic, alternative caregivers. There's also professional, mainstream medical practitioners as well.
Well, now, how many people do you what's a good number, say in the Woodstock Clinic, what's a good number of people?
Well, there's some, it depends on the weather.
Wow.
Quite honestly, if it's a nice day, of course, if it's too nice, nobody shows up, of course. But if the weather's okay, we'll get 20, 30 patients in our little 4-hour session,
That's a lot.
It's a rush. I think Kingston, we were treating up to 50.
That is an awful lot.
And I mean, it's all at once and it's very fast. But again, we've got it down to, we're organized and there's a whole practice, we've got it all organized. And again, the administrative volunteers, there's a whole crew of administrative volunteers who do an awesome job of, the kind of crowd control and, making sure the files are all kept properly and stuff like that.
Wow. So if somebody wants to participate, if somebody wants to volunteer, who do they contact?
Well, I would suggest getting on the website, which is healthcareasahumanright.com. Okay, and there's all the contact phone numbers for the various clinic directors is on the website. So if you're if you want to volunteer for the Phoenicia clinic, you'd call up Beverly Dezan and her number and phone number, etc. An email is on the website. Or if you want to volunteer for the Woodstock clinic, you would call up Haida Mohammed, okay, and her number there and her email is there as well. And of course, Susan is the executive. Susan Weeks is the executive director. And again, best thing you can do is get on the website
and just go from there.
Right. Now of course, we have a Facebook page.
Ooh,
we're on Facebook.
Really?
Ooh, yeah. And so you can,
I'm going to friend you. Yes, I'm going to get on Facebook.
I think we already are friends.
I know, but on healthcare is a human right. Can you be friends with?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go friend.
Okay, good. Well,
yeah.
you sign. I'll let you just. All you do is you join. I think the word is join.
Oh, you join.
You join,
See,
or
I have a lot of friends, but I really don't know that much.
Right.
You can tell right away I don't know that much.
Right.
But it's fun. Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is a lot of fun.
I do a lot of my communicating with my clients on Facebook. It's my whole community now. It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, Facebook is great because you can work with a computer, you can work with a phone. There's a lot of different ways, and it's instant. You don't have to boot up the computer. You just go to Facebook.
Well, with Facebook now, you can actually have a video chat through Facebook. So if you have a friend and if they have a little webcam and you have a webcam, you can click a certain button and you're actually chatting, not only just typing, but chatting with video. It's amazing now.
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. I was in a class because I keep going to school, because when you're in your 70s and you have blogs, you've got to get into the 21st century, and I'm not quite there yet. But I was in a class last night and I was learning about a thing called Google Plus,
yes.
which I'm connected to but not really in yet. And people aren't doing Skype anymore.
Right.
They're doing Google and they're doing Facebook.
Well, exactly. Well, Google Plus actually is connected to YouTube.
Right.
And you can have what they call Hangouts.
Yes.
Which is a video conference, okay? And you can have, I'm not sure how many people, 10 people at your little video conference, and it's fun. It is a hangout. It's just like Skype. I think Skype would allow 10 people as well, but but it also allows you to go through YouTube as well. There's some kind of hookup. Well, Google and YouTube are all kind of connected now.
Right, they're the same company.
Right, yeah.
Wow. Well, listen, can we get back to healthcare as a human right?
Sure.
So, this is the thing that's so very interesting to me that I observed, and I was not that active in healthcare as a human right for very long, because I was really interested in it, but I was also at that time in the Woodstock Democratic Committee. And there came a point at which it was before an election like it is now.
Right.
And I was over here in Woodstock, and I had all my little patients lined up, and I was all set up for an afternoon of foot reflexology, gonna have a ball, gonna enjoy myself. And all of a sudden there was a knock at the door, and a member of the Woodstock Democratic Committee went over to Susan and said, hey,
we need Thurman.
And so Susan was not real happy, and I wasn't real happy. So then after that I realized, if it's before an election and it's Sunday, it's not going to be healthcare as a human right. Because that's what...
Well, you can come back. We'll take you back. I mean, some people come, their life intervenes and you get busy, but a lot of people come and go. I mean, there's some people, over the last, like I said, I've been a member now, I'd probably say almost 4 years. And there have been periods where I've been working, busy, and my own practice picked up. And to a point where, I couldn't make it on a Saturday or a Sunday because I was booked solid.
Yeah.
But, when I'm free, I come back.
Yeah.
Well,
that's true. You can
come back, all is forgiven, right?
It still has that freedom to come and go. That's
You're
wonderful.
not signing up for the rest of your life. It's not. You're not getting married.
Well, but you don't have to feel guilty if you don't come.
Exactly.
But people do kind of drop in.
Right.
Because that's wonderful. We had some wonderful healers there.
Oh yeah, there's some great practitioners. I think now, of course, there's this rotating cast. You never quite know who's going to show up. But the last few Woodstock clinics, we've had a chiropractor, we've had an acupuncturist, had, several Reiki practitioners, a couple of reflexologists, okay? And of course, different types of energy healers, and of course, moi, I'm a reflexologist and a Reiki master and an EFT practitioner. Usually I practice EFT at the clinics because it's just easier.
Well, and you're the only one that does the EFT, and there are other people that do Reiki and other people that do reflexology, so they need the EFT.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm like the waiting room. I'm the unofficial waiting room. So when people are waiting for a practitioner, we do a little bit of group tapping. EFT means emotional freedom techniques, which is called the tap. It's the tapping, meridian tapping. Okay, it's sort of like acupuncture without needles. And so I'm like the unofficial waiting room.
Wow. Well, you do that in some other places too.
Absolutely. Yes.
I know a woman that was at a clinic in Stone Ridge.
Yes.
And she said you were there.
Yes, that's the Roundout Valley Holistic Health Community, which apparently used to be part of Healthcare as a Human Right, but they went off and started their own little thing. But it's a great group. They do awesome service, and a lot of the same practitioners who are at Healthcare as a Human Right also are in Stone Ridge. So,
now, does the Rondout Valley, do they stay in Stone Ridge?
Yes, they're at the Marbletown Community Center, and they're the third Tuesday of every month, okay? You have to keep all these different clinics straight. I mean, we're spoiled right now. I mean, when you think about it, we have at least 5 of these free clinics going on,
Let's
different
run
times.
this back again. November's coming up. Okay,
Right.
So what's the calendar in November?
Okay, well, hopefully, if we find a space for our clinic in Woodstock, because of course we're supposed to be coming up on November 1st, but of course there's construction going on in the community center right now, so we're looking for a space. So please, anybody have any ideas?
Listen, let's discuss this and then we'll discuss the calendar, because
Right.
this is really important. I think my vote goes to St. John's.
Okay.
St. John's is huge. It has a big parking lot. It's easy to find. The building is beautiful.
Okay.
You know,
So I guess somebody, either if anybody's listening who's connected to St. John's, please drop me a line, Tony Parker.
Or Tony, just pick up the phone.
All right, I'll call them. But if anybody who's connected with St. John's, please pray for us.
Yeah, there's this adorable priest over there. His name is Father George.
Okay, well, I'll call him tomorrow.
You know, that's a beautiful place to be.
Okay, well, maybe,
you know.
Okay, so
because if it's on Sunday, you've also got St. Gregory's, which is the A-frame church out on 212.
well, since we moved to the community center,
You're on Saturday.
we're on Saturday. When we were at Family of Woodstock, we were on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But we're flexible because right now we have no, beggars
Yeah.
can't be choosers.
Yeah.
So November 1st should be Woodstock, if we find a place to have the clinic. The next clinic would then be on November 11th, okay, which is in Kingston at the Kirkland Building, 2 Main Street, Kingston.
And that's a beautiful building.
Oh, the Rupco did an awesome job,
Yeah.
renovating that whole space.
Yeah.
And we're on the ground floor from 4 to 7. All the clinics are basically from 4 to 7.
I've got another suggestion.
Okay. And then the Phoenicia clinic will be on December 3rd. That's Wednesday, December 3rd. At that church community center. It's across from that stone church on Main Street in Phoenicia. So that's the lineup right now. And of course, Stone Ridge, I don't know what the third Tuesday of November is going to be in terms of a date, but it'll be the third Tuesday of November at Marbletown Community Center. That's right across from the Hess station and the mobile station. And again, that's 4 to 7 as well.
I think the Woodstock Commons, which is owned by Rupco,
Okay.
they've got community rooms.
Okay.
Not as big as St. John's.
Right.
The two together, because they have 2 community rooms, the 2 together would definitely be bigger probably than St. Gregory's. And you're already using one Rupco facility, so you don't have to introduce yourself. All you have to do, and because of the residents, these are residents that need your work.
Okay, that's a great idea. Okay, well, listen, tomorrow morning I'm on the phone.
And it's in town. It's in town. If they park, they can either park. God, listen, this is perfect. If they park in the parking lot of the Sunflower, there's a little path. There's a little walkway that goes from behind Sunflower over to Woodstock Commons.
Okay.
I mean, it's just perfect.
Okay.
It's not, nobody's going to have to walk down 375. Nobody's going to have to walk down 212. It's right in town.
Okay, all right.
And I think that's excellent.
Okay, listen, tomorrow morning I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope it's not too late. We haven't left, but again, we'll work it out. Well, so everybody fingers crossed, right?
Shall I, do you have Carol Gaglioni's email?
I've got her email.
I was going to say.
No, Rupco have been really helpful, to us, and they've
you're
been
already in. They know you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a brilliant idea. Okay, well, that hopefully we'll have solved the problem for next for Woodstock.
It has to be solved.
Yeah. And it's not a total disaster, but it's got us worried. But we'll work it out. We'll work out something.
Well, you know what is so beautiful is I've never really been around Phoenicia. I did go to the Phoenicia clinic one time, and I didn't get to stay the whole time. I had been to a dentist, and I didn't realize what was happening to me. And it wasn't long until I was working somebody's feet, and I just finally realized, I'm in a lot of pain. So I had to go home, but it was really beautiful over there in Phoenicia. And then you say that healthcare as a human right got involved in Phoenicia after Irene, and
right.
then of course after Sandy, Superstorm Sandy. So that is still working.
That was the beginning of the Phoenicia Clinic. In other words, we initially we ran the Phoenicia clinics really in response to the damage, that was done in Phoenicia, because the whole town was traumatized. So we felt we should step in and do something. And it was originally called an outreach clinic. And it was really only thought to be temporary while there was still an emergency Because you remember they had the National Guard there.
Are you kidding? While there was still an emergency, it's still there.
Right. But
you know, the people are, a lot of them they're not over that.
right, of course. But that's how we got involved. And then once we picked up this kind of momentum, and then we just sort of said, well, why not just do it as a regular thing? You know.
So, that is really wonderful because, and I'll tell you why, it's a thought that this is for a reason that nobody would really think of. We are keeping the systems in place because the Phoenicia area, the Phoenicia, Shandaken, Boyceville, that's the epicenter of this next storm. We figured that one out.
Mm-hmm.
Some scientist somewhere figured that one out. If you can keep all of these events that came as a response of the last storm,
Oh boy.
they're going to be ready.
Well, heaven forbid. I mean, when you saw, I remember seeing the damage. Well, Phoenicia was pretty bad, but when you saw what happened to the other towns, it was incredible, the flooding, But, we'll be there. We're there.
What we're doing is I'm getting involved because of the food pantry. In Boyceville, I'm getting involved with a group of people who are saying it's not if, it's when.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's just going gung-ho like the thing's going to come next week. And on the one hand, you think, well, energetically they're bringing the next storm.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, that next storm is not going to it's not going to have the fun it had
Mm-hmm.
at this last one.
Well, hopefully.
Because we're ready.
Okay, well, that's good. As long as we're prepared. I mean,
Yeah.
I must admit, I love that little pantry that you guys started at Boyceville. I thought it's so cute with the little shack, the little shed.
Yeah.
I think it's really cute. I got involved with the pantries. Let's see, I got involved mostly. I think first one was the Phoenicia pantry. Okay, then it was Boyceville, and then the Woodstock one. Okay, and I just think it's a great thing. Because, it's amazing when you think how much waste of food there is in this country.
Oh.
It's just criminal that the food is literally thrown out or burned or just tossed.
There is absolutely no reason for that food to be destroyed.
Yeah.
No reason.
And, so I think that the just simple fact of just redistributing it, why not?
Well, and the people need it because now we can't afford to buy food. So you get up, now how many days a week do you go over to Meredith's?
I guess 2 days a week. I get up, 5:30, 5 o'clock. I have to be there before 6, and of course now it's getting darker. It's pretty, but it's a cute little crew because they're some of the other food collectors from different pantries and church pantries or senior citizens groups. We're like a little crew. And we all wait outside, and we're all friendly. And
how many are there?
I'd say about 3 or 4 of us are regulars. There are a few people who come every once in a while, but there's three or four. I think there's one person from People's Place, and then there's a fellow who collects for a couple of senior groups, and then I think there was one woman. I think she was connected to the Kingston group, but I'm collecting for Kingston now as well. So
where in Kingston?
that's
Which one?
the big one, the St. James one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have you begun to collect for Clinton Avenue?
No. Oh, that's St. James. I'm on St. James.
That's Pastor Kelly.
Okay.
She is a love.
Oh, okay.
She's got a pantry and a soup kitchen.
Okay.
And then she has done something which is very, very forward thinking.
Okay.
And I've kind of I have been greatly influenced by her. She found that in one of the senior apartment complexes in Kingston, that there were a couple of citizens that, for whatever reason, did not have enough food.
Okay.
And so she began to deliver food.
Okay.
We don't even know the names of these people, we just deliver the food. And now as a result of that, out in Boyceville, we go to 2 different places.
Okay.
And drop off food to groups of senior citizens.
Awesome.
And it was because when you have seniors living in an apartment situation, they have minimal supervision.
Right.
And you can run across a person who really has no food and unless the neighbors are really watching, nobody will know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And
You can get very isolated in an apartment
yeah, you can.
complex. You know,
Yeah.
you'd think that with people all around you, you'd have lots and lots of neighbors, but you can get pretty isolated.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And so we are constant. I think that it is, especially out in Boyceville, where you have a lot of people, the communities look like there's no one living there,
Mm-hmm.
but there's people, a lot of people, but they're not closely together.
Right. It's kind of spread out.
Yeah, and so you have these individuals, some of whom are also not doing well, and
Right.
no one knows, and it's only through the pantry
Mm-hmm.
that people know. Am I making sense? with
No,
that?
that's great.
Yeah.
It's a great outreach. It's a great.
So
yeah.
that's part of our
Well, one of the
thing.
projects I'm going to be starting soon, one of my workshops in Newburgh is kind of changing. My schedule. See, I have workshops all over the Hudson Valley.
What do you teach?
This is my EFTs.
Oh wow!
And but one of the projects that I've been working on, I did it briefly with Rupco at Torrington Pines, which is EFT for seniors.
Oh wow!
I was running a EFT group, a healing circle for seniors, and we ran it for a while. But then, things changed at Torrington Pines, so it kind of.
How many residents are at Torrington Pines?
Oh, I'm not very good at numbers, but I'm assuming it was probably. I'd say. I saw at least 10, 15 people. I'm not sure exactly, what the actual attendance or how many actual tenants there were, but I probably saw about 10, 15 people. But I'm thinking about starting a EFT group specifically for seniors. Okay, because seniors have special interests in areas
Yes.
of support where EFT would be perfect. At the moment, I do have a Woodstock group that I'm running under Family Woodstock Thursday night. Okay, 7:30 at Family Woodstock upstairs, and that's a regular weekly EFT healing circle. Okay, and I'm thinking about somehow, maybe not on Wednesday, but some other day of the week, having a special interest group for seniors. And not sure exactly how
Do you
that's.
know what community you want to have it in?
I'm completely open, and I'm putting it out there. Bread on the waters. So if anybody has any ideas.
Listen, Woodstock Commons would be great.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm listening. I'm open. At this moment, I'm just sharing with you the.
Because they've got the space and they've got the people.
Okay.
And I wrote an article about them in my blog. They are
Okay.
really opening. They are a new group because they're a new complex.
Okay.
And they are trying
To develop a sense of community.
and they're trying to bring things into their community.
Well, I'd be delighted to.
And they've got like 50 families there.
Well, like I said, any kind of, I'd be delighted to pilot any kind of workshop or, program.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Well, again, I guess people are wondering what EFT stands for.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's tell everybody, what is EFT?
EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It's also called meridian tapping, also known as acupuncture without needles, very similar to shiatsu or acupressure, or it's thousands and thousands of years old, but it was brought over to this country actually kind of almost by accident. An American psychiatrist called Roger Callahan was looking for an alternative to pharmaceutical medication. And so he went off and studied acupuncture. Somewhere along the line, and he started treating his patients who he normally, prescribed medication. He started treating them with, acupuncture, and it's incredibly successful.
Mm-hmm.
Totally worked. Brilliant.
Yes. Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, he stopped using needles. He started tapping where he would have originally put a needle, and it worked just as well. And this was in the late 70s, 80s, and he's still alive. He's an older person, but he and his wife still practice in Phoenix, Arizona, you know. So, you know, but it evolved into this thing called EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques. Now, my teacher was a gentleman called Gary Craig, and I'll tell you who introduced me to probably a friend, an old, maybe some of you people remember her. Do you remember Marilyn Peterson?
No.
Okay. Marilyn Peterson was, at the time that I encountered her, I'm going back a few zillion years. I came back from a dirty little war in a dirty little country, and I had what they call war-related PTSD, and you don't have to be a combatant to get it. I was working with a number of charities, and I was dishing out, dealing rice and meds, okay? But it was in West Africa in a horrible civil war in a place called Sierra Leone, and all the mayhem and the madness around me, I ended up with this PTSD thing.
How could you not?
Exactly. But I came back, I was seriously disturbed, okay?
Yeah.
And I had all the symptoms, and of course, I had friends who'd been military combatants, Vietnam or other wars, Gulf War or whatever, and they were on all these meds, and they just weren't getting better. They were getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I said, well, there's got to be another way. And as luck would have it, Marilyn's husband Bob was one of my buddies. Okay, and he said, Marilyn wants to do this tapping thing on you, and this might help you. And I went, oh God, Woodstock, And I said, yet another Woodstock healer, But she started tapping on me, and the symptoms all just went away. I mean, not permanently, but within 15 minutes, I was relaxed. The anxiety, the panic, all the symptoms that you hear about, I had them all. But within about 15, 20 minutes of her tapping on me, it all went away. And I said, this is amazing, And what I did, of course, is I saw her once a week, and then I tapped on myself, okay, every time I had a flashback or a panic attack or an anxiety attack, okay? So I was like 10 times a day. So I was probably tapping an hour, 2 hours a day as needed, okay? Seeing her once a week. But here's the part. Within about 8 months, I was completely symptom-free. Now that got my attention.
Yeah.
Most people with, complex PTSD, combat PTSD.
That takes years.
The
rest of your life.
They're still suffering.
Yeah.
And then this was in, I guess, 96 or 97, and I was so impressed with it, I decided to start studying it as a practitioner, okay? And, went to all the courses and the classes and all this sort of stuff. And been working with people ever since, and it's a mixed bag, I have, everything from combat vets, firemen, policemen, 9/11 people, Vietnam vets. I do a lot of work with the Vietnam Veterans Association. I had a combat PTSD group in Hyde Park for a couple of years, okay, with Marines and SEALs and Navy corpsmen, etc. Also, I work with domestic violence survivors. Anybody who's got a problem. Also, people just want to lose weight or improve their golf game.
Right.
It's an incredible tool, and also just for aches and pains. Mm-hmm. So it's a wonderful little tool. It's anything that you would you would use for acupuncture, you can use EFT on. Mm-hmm. And the marvelous thing is, once you've learned it, once I've taught it to a client, they can use it themselves. You don't have to wait till the next session. Say you're having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and it's Monday and your session's on Friday. You don't have to wait till Friday. You can take care of yourself. There you go.
Wow.
It's very simple, and if you have time, if we have time, I could teach the people out there a quick EFT.
Well, let's do it.
Let's have an EFT session.
We've got time. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. How do you do this?
Okay. Well, we're not going to now. Acupuncture has 3,000 acupuncture
Right.
points, and we're not going to learn 3,000. We only need about 10 points.
Okay.
And they're really easy, and we're not going to use, I'm going to take my glasses off.
Okay.
We're not going to use Chinese words. We're going to use regular American words.
Okay.
So the first tapping point is the top of the head. Okay, there you go. And again, often that's called the crown chakra. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's just the top of the head. And now the next point is called the eyebrow point. And again, you just tap along the eyebrow. You don't have to be acupuncture needle perfect. And it doesn't matter which hand you use. A lot of people say, Tony, what hand? What hand? Okay. And they say also, you changed your hands. I said, because I'm tired. I change my hands. Okay, so left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. Next tapping point is the side of the eye, which is the outside corner of the eye. Okay. And then the next tapping point is under the eye, on the cheekbone. Okay, you're doing great, by the way. Is on the cheekbone, directly underneath the eye. And then the next tapping point is under the nose, where the upper lip meets the bottom of the nose. Okay, where that little notch is. Next point is where the lower lip meets the chin, called under the mouth or the chin spot. Okay. Next point is called the collarbone, and just across the collarbone. And again, doesn't matter. You use both hands. Right hand, left hand. There's no wrong way to do this.
This is wonderful. It feels fabulous.
Well, it's very relaxing. Okay. Now, the next point's kind of interesting because it does demonstrate a basic principle of Asian healing and EFT. Ladies or gentlemen, often we call this the bra strap point.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on the side of the rib cage, and if you feel around, one of the ribs is going to be sensitive or tender, or even painful. One of those ribs on the side of the rib cage, kind of where a lady would have a bra strap, it's going to be sensitive or even tender. Okay. Now, some of you guys may have found it. It's not. It won't be. Some people it's not obvious, but most people you'll feel it. Okay.
This is very important. As a massage therapist, these muscles
Right.
are ignored.
Right.
Totally ignored.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they do a lot.
Absolutely.
So this is wonderful.
Now, that point, the reason it is sensitive or tender is because there is blocked or reversed or trapped energy. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, the basic understanding of Asian healing or acupuncture or shiatsu or EFT is that if there's a problem with the mind or the body, and of course, as a reflexologist, you'll know this, again, that these points are connected to different organs and parts of the body.
This just got very, very hot.
Right, exactly. It started to move the energy, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so EFT is very similar, in fact, works on the same principle that reflexology works on. Okay?
Yeah.
There is this connection between a point on the soles of your feet to different organs and parts of the body. Well, the same thing with these points here. Okay?
Well, this is such a powerful.
Right.
Oh, this is extremely powerful.
All right, the next point is called the karate chop, okay, or the side of the hand. And of course, the reason it's called the karate chop is because, in those kung fu movies or whatever. But again, it's just from the base of the pinky to the heel of the palm, and it doesn't matter which hand you do it. Some of my clients even do this.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. But like I said, some people say, oh, you changed your hands. I said, because I'm
Yeah,
tired. No,
right,
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
The energy system is bilateral, so it doesn't matter. Okay. All right, so that's 9 tapping points. Now we're going to use one point called the sore spot. And again, it's just for this to start off with, it's in the area above the heart, below the collarbone, kind of left of center. If you feel around, it may be sore, tender. Just feel around. Sore, sensitive, or tender. The reason it is sore, sensitive, or tender is that's where there's some trapped or blocked or stagnant chi, as an acupuncturist would say, right? And you just massage it lightly. Okay, so that's the tapping points that we're going to use, all right? And now I'm going to demonstrate a very simple tap. You've heard of law of attraction or The Secret?
Yeah.
Okay. And the basic tenet of there's a movie and then there's a book. All right, the basic tenet. Okay, so if you go around saying, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, life sucks, I want to go home and eat worms, right? What are you going to get? More worms, right?
Right.
But if you're grateful for what you do have in your life, right, you will attract more of that same thing.
That's true.
All right. I give this exercise to all my new clients.
Okay.
No matter what they come to see me for, I say, I don't care what your problem is,
This is 101.
This is EFT 101. Okay? You make a list of the things that you're grateful for.
Yes.
Okay? And then you tap on it in a very simple way.
Tap on the list.
Well, you can tap on the list, but no, you're going to tap on your body. But here, so we're going to start with you. All right,
Okay.
Thurman, share with me one thing in your life, or an aspect of your life, or a person in your life, or something in your life that you feel grateful for or positive about.
Oh, I'm grateful for so many things.
Well, let's pick one. Just
Okay, I'm grateful for the pantry.
Okay, so now we're going to start tapping the top of the head.
Ah.
Okay, and now we're going to say two words
Okay.
that some people will never say. You'll never get it out of them, right? But here
Okay.
comes, ready for it, drum roll. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, eyebrow, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, side of the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the nose, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the mouth, thank you.
Thank you.
Collarbone, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the arm, thank you.
Thank you.
Karate chop, thank you.
Thank you.
Now take a deep breath, and now release. Okay, very awesome. You sure haven't done this before? Oh wow, well you're a master. You're good. Okay, so now we're going to I'm going to pick one. I was either going to pick something either for you having me on tonight or healthcare is a human right. How about healthcare is a human right? And the November 1st workshop that's going to have a place. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna the November 1st workshop that's gonna have a place.
Okay, the clinic's going to find a location. So thank you.
Thank you.
Eyebrow, thank you.
Thank you.
Side of the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the nose, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the mouth, thank you.
Thank you.
Collarbone, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the arm, thank you.
Thank you.
Karate chop, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now take a deep breath and now release.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, you ready for this?
Okay.
Cash and prizes. This is if you have a practice, if you have clients or students or a business, or even if you know, this is cash money in the bank.
Okay.
What you do is you make a list of your sources of abundance. You make a list of your clients or your students or your customers or employers, anybody who's ever provided you with abundance. Okay?
Yes.
And so I do this every morning.
Source of abundance.
Any
Okay.
client or source of abundance, an agency, anybody who's provided you with a check or income of any kind, whatever it is, no matter how
Okay.
small.
Okay.
And you connect with the moment that it was given to you and the feeling that you had. This is absolute textbook law of attraction, okay? So I'm going to pick one, and I'm just going to use initials right now, okay? KC, okay, it's one of my clients
Okay.
in New York City, okay?
Okay.
So now we tap together, okay? Thank you.
Thank
Everybody,
you.
eyebrow, thank you.
Thank you.
Side of the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the eye, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the nose, thank you.
Thank you.
Under the mouth, thank you. Collarbone, thank you. Under the arm, thank you. Karate chop, thank you. Excellent. Take a deep breath and now release. Okay, now Thurman, a source of abundance in your life.
Is Elsie.
Okay, top of the head, thank you. Okay, eyebrow, thank you. Side of the eye, thank you. Under the eye, thank you. Under the nose, thank you. Under the mouth, thank you. Collarbone, thank you. Under the arm, thank you. Karate chop, thank you. Very good. Excellent. Now let's all take a deep breath and I'll release. This is absolutely cash money in the bank. If you don't do this, it's costing you money. Now I'm going to tell you a little story about a colleague of ours.
Okay.
I'll just say she's a reflexologist in the area, so you probably know who she is. She calls me up on a Monday morning saying, Tony, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, I've only got 3 clients. How am I going to pay my bills? I say, are you grateful for the 3 clients you do have? She went, huh? What? I said, humor me. So I make her tap with me over the phone, right, for the 3 clients that she does have. She calls me up an hour later. She says, you'll never believe what happened. I got 4 new clients since we did the tapping. I said, are you grateful for those 4? And I said, do this every morning for each. She calls me up Friday night that week. She says, you'll never believe what happened. I've had the most amazing week of my entire career as a reflexologist. I said, well, what happened? She says, I booked $1,600. That's a lot of feet. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of feet.
That's a lot of feet. That's more than full time. God's mother. That's great.
So this works, okay?
It does.
Because being grateful for your clients or being grateful for any abundance in your life attracts more abundance, right? So there you go. That's EFT in a box.
Oh, wow. I'm going to share this with someone.
Well, it really works. And again, this is like beginners
I feel
101.
totally different.
Well, have you felt a little rush, like a little buzz?
I feel completely different.
That's your energy system moving.
Yeah.
That's the
well,
EFT
and,
kicking
and
in.
you know, I want to say on a chakra level, but of course, I mean, I want to use a different word, but I can. This is the crown chakra, and then here we have the pineal. That's
right,
the third eye.
Right.
And then we have we go to the face.
Right.
This is where all of our energy centers. And this is our throat chakra,
right,
and the thymus chakra,
right. There's a
which is very important.
Thymus, yeah.
And then we come here. This is like the heart, around the heart area.
Right.
And then these are chakras in our hands.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
This is all chakra work.
Well,
and they are just singing.
Yeah.
The chakras, the upper chakras are just singing.
Right. No, I suggest people do 5 or 10 more minutes of this every morning, and it's a great way to start the day. And then, of course, if you can activate law of attraction while you're doing it,
more the better.
Ka-ching.
Now let me ask you something.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you obviously know a lot about this, and I know about 1 second worth, which is what I just did. There's another chakra up here, the Viracocha. I studied under Alberto Villego. No, that's not his name. I'm goofy. But there is another chakra up here called the Viracocha.
Okay.
So if we want to, we engage the crown chakra.
Right.
So we go up here and we engage the Viracocha.
Possibly. That's beyond my experience, but it sounds like there was
because that's what we're doing. We're engaging our chakras.
Right, exactly. Well, we're engaging our energy system, yeah. I mean, these meridians that are, that start at the sole of the feet and they move all the way up and they terminate up here. They kind of do this big thing like that. I mean, they're in our body, but they're outside our body. There was a wonderful guy called William Teller, and he was a physicist, a Stanford physicist who had retired, and he started, what his idea was, he kind of wangled out of Stanford a basement lab, and he wanted to study the human spirit, or he wanted to study all this stuff, but also quantify it in terms of science, physical science, or whatever you want to call it, physics or whatever. And he had finally got to a point where he could describe what this, he called it, the human endomorphic energy matrix.
Yeah.
And he said that we have this energy field or aura, that's about 2 meters across, 3 meters high, at the inner part that's attached to our body actually weighs about 3 ounces, 70 grams, At its outer edges, it goes quantum, changes dimension, and is, ready for this is what he used, which is really spooky, connected to everything, and is not limited by time or space. But the idea that it's connected to everything, that we're connected to each other and everything, pretty woo-woo, isn't it?
Well, actually, of course, when you're teaching Reiki,
It's exactly.
that's what you're teaching.
Exactly. Yeah.
In Reiki too, you heal beyond time and space.
Exactly.
Which means that you engage your energetic body.
Absolutely. Well, you ready for a Reiki tap?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're going to. This used to be deep dark. When I was taught Reiki, remember you weren't supposed to tell anybody
right. Not
anything.
a soul.
Shh, don't tell anybody. Right. Of course, now you Google Reiki. Okay. So now we're no longer breaking a secret. But anyway, it's okay. You're allowed to see this. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the tapping with the Reiki mantras.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's start tapping, and the top of the head. And now we're just going to say chokure,
Chokure.
which means place the healing energy here.
Chokure.
Okay, so top of the head. Okay, everybody out at home, let's go.
Chokure.
Chokure, which means place the healing energy here. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Okay,
Yes.
eyebrow. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Side of the eye. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Under the eye. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Under the nose. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Under the mouth. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Collarbone. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Under the arm. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Karate chop. Chokure, chokure, chokure. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. And I'll release. Very cool. And now, of course, wait a second, then it's kind of, and you feel it buzzing already. And now we'll do Seiki, right? Which is heal the mind, the body, and the spirit.
Absolutely.
So top of the head.
Seiki.
Seiki. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it.
Seiki.
Seiki. Okay, eyebrow. Seiki. Side of the eye. Seiki. Under the eye. Seiki. Under the nose, seiki. Under the mouth, seiki. Collarbone, seiki. Under the arm, seiki. Karate chop, seiki. Take a deep breath, and I'll release. Very cool, huh?
Yes.
All right, and then just what was the next? Oh, the tongue twister, Honsaze Shonen.
Honshaze Shonen.
Okay, which is the past, the
Honshaze.
present, and the future.
Right.
Top.
Honshaze Shonen.
Honsaze Shonen. Very good. Okay, eyebrow. Honsaze Shonen. Everybody's a slightly different pronunciation, so don't worry about it. Side of the eye. Honsaze Shonen. Under the eye, Honsaze Shonen. Under the nose, Honsaze Shonen. Under the mouth, Honsaze Shonen. Collarbone, Honsaze Shonen. Under the arm, Honsaze Shonen. Karate chop. Honsaze, you're doing fine. Honsaze Shonen. Take a deep breath. And I'll release. Okay. So that would be the three, and then the last one is the master one, Daikomyo.
The Daikomyo.
Oh, we're bringing out all the secrets, right? Remember this? Remember, I don't know, when we were taught Reiki, don't tell anybody, right? You know.
Yeah.
All right, it's a big secret. We got 2 minutes. Okay. Top of the head, Daikomyo. Collarbone, Daikomyo. Take a deep breath, and I'll release.
I don't even know if I can drive home. I really don't.
Well,
And I only have a
that means it's working.
Oh yeah.
That when you get that body rush, or you start yawning, or you feel
Oh
tingly,
no.
that's absolutely what it's supposed to feel like. Yeah. There you go. Good
if
for you.
something offers something, I'm into it. I can't even talk. We might as well end this one. This program is over. It's been a wonderful, wonderful hour. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, I have a phone number. Am I allowed to say phone number?
Yes.
Okay, 845-706-2183, 845-706-2183, or TonyGuyParker.com, TonyGuyParker.com, okay, or tgpeft@gmail.com. That's T as in Tony, G as in Guy, P as in Parker, E as in emotional, F as in freedom, T as in techniques, tgpeft@gmail.com. And I'm on Facebook, Anthony Guy Parker.
Okay, listen, we didn't come in with this intention, but if you want to have a wonderful experience, you call this guy up and you book an EFT session. This has been fabulous.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Totally awesome.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad you came on to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Tap, 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 tap. Keep tapping.